The international break may be here, but things are still happening at Arsenal, with some players scoring and some about to return. Today we'll get the breaking fitness update on Bukayo Saka. We'll also find out about the new contracts regarding Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba. We'll find out what's happening with the future of Lewis-Skelly. We'll also get the breaking news of Ricardo Calafiori, as well as a Ben Jacobs update on the forwards. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Bass14. Welcome back to your boys channel, and I hope you guys are surviving. A bit of a break from Arsenal, time to recharge and recoup. So as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Help your boy on the road to 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with Arsenal's international star boy, Lewis-Skelly, one of Arsenal's shining lights this season. 18 years of age, breaking into the first team. An absolute revelation. From that first proper start against Monaco in the Champions League, that pass in behind to Gabriel Jesus. I think a lot of Arsenal fans realised that we had something very special on our hands. And likewise, of course, Thomas Tuchel, seen here alongside the Arsenal star boy, having called up the 18-year-old to the England national team. In a recent podcast alongside Declan Rice and Dan Burn, Miles gave quite a funny story. When talking about how he got called up, he said, "I hung up with my friend and put on my good voice. I'm getting ready and the person that speaks is like, 'We've got your food, it's outside.' It was Uber Eats from my mum." Expecting a call from Thomas Tuchel but ending up with Uber Eats. Let's just say the call did arrive, as Miles continues to have an insane debut season, having made his Premier League debut, then scored his first Premier League goal, then a Champions League debut, to then become a first team Arsenal regular and now receive his first England call-up. While some youngsters break into the first team, they take their time. Miles has hit the ground running straight away. Lewis-Skelly has not messed about whatsoever, ranking second in the entire league for the best ground ball success rates of any player, with 60 plus duels contested at a whopping 75%, arriving to England national team duty with a simple message: "Nice to meet you," telling the next player, "I hope you arrive safely." This guy is more than just a great talent. What I see is a great character behind the scenes. Lucky enough to meet Miles' mum behind the scenes. After our tour of America in the summer, your boy was on the same flight as Miles' mum. Not only was I able to have a conversation though, I was able to appreciate the environment in which Miles is growing up in. Stability behind the scenes and humbleness. Now known as the Hand of Arsenal, a club source has told him, "We see a future captain in Miles, because he has the mentality of a seasoned veteran as such a young boy." With Marcia, Miles and Arteta all very clear on his future pathway at Arsenal Football Club, Miles is here to stay, with a chance to make his England debut tomorrow as the Three Lions take on Albania at Wembley Stadium. It seems like Miles could be getting a brand new Arsenal contract. But in the same podcast alongside Arsenal star Declan Rice, seen talking about his nickname, how Arsenal players call him the Horse. I'm also very excited for something else. The arrival of a world-class manager in Thomas Tuchel. With all the coaching that Mikel Arteta has done, the improvement in Rice, Bukayo Saka, Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri, they will now be working alongside a former Champions League winner, where Southgate was more about keeping the players happy, less about philosophy and more about feeling. When Thomas Tuchel was asked about England's philosophy, he says they were more afraid to drop out of the tournament than having the excitement and hunger to win. That's where your boy is very intrigued. How is he going to use Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka? Can he transform Lewis-Skelly even more? Not to mention the potential of Ethan Nwaneri. As Thomas Tuchel says, we will play with the hunger and joy to win, and not with the fear to lose. Now a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Emma Sleep. Let me be honest guys, Arsenal have been stressing me out lately. Sleepless nights thinking about our results. Stress trying to figure out who we're going to sign. And don't get me started on the referees. It's safe to say the football can take its toll, making it that much more important that you get a good night of sleep to recover. That's where Emma Sleep enter the building. Having recently hooked up your boy with their full season duvet, premium foam pillows, and their in-demand hybrid air grid mattress. Whether Arsenal win, lose or draw, your boy is sleeping like a champion, with their pillows providing the perfect level of neck support. The duvet caught me off guard, because not only does it keep your boy warm, but it also provides the perfect level of comfort, with the ability to adjust the level of warmth by taking off a layer depending on the season. And the mattress, oh my god, providing the ultimate level of comfort, support to help ease back pain. It's actually a bit dangerous because once you get in, you don't want to get out. With a 200-night risk-free trial and a 10-year guarantee, you can rest easy knowing that you've made a great investment. So if you want to upgrade your sleep game, check out Emma Sleep now, using my discount code BAVS5 for an exclusive deal, with the links down below in the description. Trust me, your future or rested self will thank you. But back to the Arsenal star boys and the year that Miles has risen. Let's just say he's not the only one. You've also got to talk about Ethan Nwaneri, recently ranked as #1 in the Premier League for teenagers in terms of market value at a whopping €55 million. Currently a part of the England under-21s, with manager Lee Carsley saying, "Ethan is very talented, with outstanding balance, fast and technically very good. We are very lucky to have him." Likewise Arsenal, and let's just say they understand. With the recent report from Gary Jacobs confirming Arsenal are set to hold contract talks with Bukayo Saka, Saliba, Wanyeri and Lewis-Skelly, who will all be offered new deals. Initial talks have also been held with Gabriel Magalhaes. Leandro Trossard wants to stay, while Leandro Trossard wants a salary increase, with an option of a 1-year extension. The thing that I like the most though is the fact that Arsenal are being proactive. Most players there have multiple years left on their contract, but you only have to look towards Anfield, a Liverpool side set to win a Premier League title, but with the potential of losing 3 of their best players, Salah, Trent and Van Dijk, all out of contract, with the recent report confirming Paris Saint-Germain are all in on Virgil van Dijk, with Liverpool not willing to break the bank to retain their captain, even though they want him to stay. According to James Pearce, if Van Dijk and Salah sign extensions, less business will need to be conducted this summer, with those contracts putting a significant dent in the funds available for transfers. But with all the rumours of Trent Alexander-Arnold going to Real Madrid, nothing so far on Mo Salah and Van Dijk may be going to Paris, Arsenal are being proactive on their own defence, one that has not conceded more than 2 goals in a single match in over 466 days. You have to go all the way back to a 4-3 win against Luton to the last time that Arsenal conceded 3 goals. So in terms of the future of Gabriel Magalhaes, as previously confirmed, Gabriel has held talks about extending his contract, as he's believed to be attracting interest from Saudi Arabia. You of course had the recent report from Ben Jacobs, confirming that Al Nassr are planning an ambitious summer bid for the Arsenal defender, having offered the player a salary in the region of €20 million. 3 times what is currently on at Arsenal, and that of course all being tax-free. Financially the law has always been there, but what about the ambition? Gabriel, a player in the peak of his powers at 27 years of age, despite having 2 years left on his contract, not only are Arsenal set to offer a massive wage increase, but they're also taking care of his partner William Saliba, with a recent report from Marca confirming Saliba is on the list of defenders for Real Madrid, alongside the likes of Huijsen, Hato, Konate and Lukeba. Dean Huijsen is currently the most favoured option, and the easiest to sign due to his £50 million release clause. The list itself though is intriguing, and here's why. In Huijsen you have a Spanish player thriving at Bournemouth, but one almost certain to leave this summer. Lukeba of course a left centre-back with a €90 million release clause, alongside Jarell Hato, a former target of Arsenal, reaching new heights for Ajax this season. But then you have Ibrahima Konate, with the potential departure of Virgil van Dijk, out of contract, available on a free transfer in the summer. What I found even more intriguing was the fact that Konate is out of contract next season, still yet to sign a brand new contract. You then compare that to Saliba, who still has 2 years left on his contract, has confirmed on numerous times, I'm really happy here at Arsenal. I have 2.5 years on my contract and I want to continue here. I want to win big things with Arsenal. If you leave this club and you don't win anything, then the fans will forget about you. I want to win here. Saliba might be seen as the Bellingham of defenders, but he's also the hardest option for Real Madrid to sign, who already have the long-term right centre-back. 22 years of age, Raul Asensio, a player as Fabrizio Romano confirms, has recently agreed a new long-term contract. But for Arsenal they won't care because they're still being proactive. As reported by Football London, including those on loan, 86% of the current players contracted to Arsenal have at least 2 years left on their contracts. Evidence of the proactive approach and great job that Edu Gaspar and Mikel Arteta have done as Andrea Berta takes over. The players in question are not in their final year. Not only do Arsenal have more leverage, but with most being under 25 years of age, even if Arsenal offer major wages, with the amount of years the players will offer, it still makes sense financially. Now let's talk about the Premier League though, with The Guardian recently confirming the Premier League has further delayed the introduction of semi-automatic offside technology. This after a record 8-minute video system referee check in the FA Cup match against Bournemouth and Wall. The earliest it could be introduced is the weekend of April the 5th. However, some clubs are questioning whether a significant change should be brought in with just 8 games remaining, which I find so confusing. Why on earth are clubs against the idea of getting offside sorted as soon as possible? Having seen it in the Champions League how seamless it is, offside checks within seconds, no uncertainty after but lines or anything else. How can this be seen as the best league in the world if in terms of referees we are so slow? For me the principle is simple. This is a must-need technology for the Premier League, and the sooner we get it in, the much better for the product. But in terms of the other Arsenal players on international duties, Riccardo Calafiori was involved, as Italy lost 2-1 to Germany, in a game that he wasn't amazing with a 6.3 rating, winning only 1 of 5 ground balls. The real concern came after the game, as right towards the end Calafiori slipped, landing awkwardly on his knees, then seen after the game limping his way out of the stadium. When asked about how serious the injury was, Calafiori says, "I still don't know," with Fabrizio Romano confirming the player is set to undergo tests today in order to understand the extent of the injury. But for Arsenal fans, a bit of deja vu, having seen Calafiori slip in a very similar manner in Arsenal's Champions League game against Shakhtar, an injury that cost the player a month. For now we're going to have to wait and see. But then you had the positives of Mikel Merino, a player who came off the bench for Spain in their 2-2 draw against Netherlands and scored a last-minute equaliser. In 12 minutes dropping a 7.5 rating with 6 or 7 passes completed, once again showing his poaching instincts despite coming on as a midfielder. In the last moment Merino found himself in the box as he poached away a rebound, not only making it 2 goals in 2 games, but also combining with a potential Arsenal target, as Nico Williams provided yet another moment. In the last moments cutting inside with no fear, providing that shot that led to the rebound,
a prime example why Mikel Arteta wants him. Williams is a direct wide forward, all about being his man regardless of the pressure. No need for an underlap or overlap because the player can still provide moments. And according to Christian Falk, Arsenal understood to be ahead of Bayern Munich in the race to sign Nico Williams this summer.
Moving on to the Andrea Berta targets. With the arrival of a brand new Sport director, a man with so much European experience, we've talked about midfielders and even centre forwards. But having lost Aaron Ramsdale last summer, signed a backup goalkeeper in Roberto Neto, who has still only played one Arsenal game. Come this summer, Arsenal are once again on the market for a brand new keeper, with their current one thriving, recently named as the most valuable goalkeeper, according to Transfermarkt, in the entire Premier League, a league in which he currently has a 74.7% save percentage, the highest of any keeper, having also only conceded 24 goals, the lowest of any keeper. Well, last year there was uncertainty. This year there's definitely none. Raya has not only become one of the best keepers in the league, but think about the amount of times he saved us, crucial saves and massive moments, alongside being fairly reliable on the ball. The ability to play as the quarterback, come forward in the build-up phase, while also being dominant when it comes to catching crosses. But going into the future, what about Joan Garcia, a player that Mikel Arteta wanted last summer? As confirmed by The Athletic, Arsenal will look once again to sign the Spanish goalkeeper from Espanyol this summer, a player that Arsenal could have spent 20 million euros on, with many fans that were unsure. This year, Garcia has reached a brand new level, ranking second in all of La Liga for total goals prevented at 5, impressing game after game, saving penalties, making insane saves. Many see Joan Garcia as the next big goalkeeper, 23 years of age, starting week in week out, with a 74.5% save rate in the league this year, having also saved 33% of penalty kicks. Garcia also excels in terms of crossing stops, stopping 9%, being one of the highest keepers in the league. People that have watched him have compared him to Alisson, a keeper not just excelling in the basics, but able to provide game-saving moments. But then you have to ask yourself the question, would he want to come to a Arsenal and play as a number 2, with reports of interest from Barcelona, maybe even Man City, with Raya being our established number 1? Unless Mikel Arteta is looking to be ruthless once again, just like how he was for Aaron Ramsdale, will Garcia arrive at the Emirates Stadium? But in terms of going forwards, we also have an update. As confirmed by Simon Collins, Arsenal are preparing to sign 2 forwards in their first major transfer window under the incoming Sport director Andrea Berta, targeting both a winger and a striker. According to Ben Jacobs, Arsenal will make a significant play on Benjamin Sesko, who is sold on the project and has a very high chance of joining Arsenal. However, they won't pull the trigger until they know what's happening with Alexander Isak, who is their dream target if available. As Jacobs says, Isak is the number 1 target, but all of us have number 1 things that we like in the world that are very unlikely to happen. Is Isak generally available? Berta will get a quick read on that. If he is, he becomes Arsenal's top choice. If not, Sesko to Arsenal is a very high percentage chance. But if you go off the reports that Arsenal looking for 2 forwards, Isak on his own could cost upwards of £130 million. With Hand of Ozil already reporting, Arsenal are open to breaking the transfer record if they think they have a genuine chance of signing the player. We can't ignore the reliable reports from the likes of Fabrizio and David Ornstein. There's a reason why they keep saying Isak is the number 1. The idea is that Arsenal will make an offer, but more a matter of a waiting game. Seeing where Newcastle finish this season, can they get Champions League football? Currently behind the likes of Forest, Chelsea and Man City, but with a very exciting plan B as well. In Benjamin Sesko, what I see is the next pre-explosion player, just like Isak back at Real Sociedad, a player that we knew had the potential, but the question of being which club was going to take the hits. In terms of XG over performance, Sesko is a bit of a sharpshooter. As shown here over his last 95 games, he has scored a whopping 44 goals from an XG of just 19.6, where Isak scored 50 goals from an XG of 35.9. In Sesko, you have a player that will cost £65 million. Isak almost more than double, but is Benjamin Sesko half the player, still at 21 years of age, already with 100 club career goals? If it came down to you guys and this was the question, what move do you think Arsenal are going to make? On to some quick fire news though, and starting off with Jorginho, a player out of contract this season, was recently spotted arriving in Rio de Janeiro, confirming that he has time to close a deal with Flamengo, but also warning reporters I've come on vacation. From all the way back in January, reports have already confirmed teams in Brazil want Jorginho, despite Mikel Arteta's desire to keep the player, with so much experience and a great character behind the scenes, alongside the ability to still have an impact on the pitch. It looks like Jorginho isn't the only Arsenal midfielder set to leave though, with reports in Spain confirming Sevilla are considering keeping Albert Sambi Lokonga on a permanent deal, but not at the €12 million purchase option. Arsenal no longer want him on their roster and are willing to negotiate a transfer at a lower price than his current release clause. A player that has started 12 times for Sevilla and La Liga this season, a team currently in 10th, nowhere near European football. I still think for a player who's 25 years of age, a full Belgium international, negotiating anything less than €12 million just does not seem right. Now a fitness update on the Arsenal star boy Bukayo Saka, who according to recent reports, is back in training on the grass at the Sober Reality Training Centre as he steps up his recovery, with this being the photo that many are pointing towards. Blurry if anything, far from confirming, but people claim that those are Saka's boots. As much as the Arsenal fan base have the detectives, in this case we don't even need them. Mikel Arteta has already confirmed Saka is set to return after its international break. with more reliable reports confirming a return date on April the 8th, just in time for Real Madrid. And you know what, it has been a painful time, seeing Bukayo time after time, watching Arsenal from the sidelines, for a player that has not played since December, yet still ranked second in the Premier League for big chances created, only 2 behind Mo Salah. All you have to look at is Arsenal's open play build-up, see how much of it is tailored towards the right-hand side, to understand how vital this return is going to be. 9 goals and 13 assists in 24 games. Even if he returns at half the level, we'll still have one of the best right wingers available in the entire world of football. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, and the links are down below in the description. But that was all of your latest Arsenal news today, as quite a few players are set to play some international games. We pray for no injuries, and we'll see what the reports have to say. So as per friends, stay tuned, I'll see you next time. Take care, and a bit.